the hands-on exercises, I mean the practical exercises to the respective mentors, so that the daily like whatever the class by the end of the particular class I will share those materials, and you have to practice those topics, and by the next class you should be able to answer some questions asked by me, as well as you should also post some questions so that I can understand where you are actually stopping or you are good at particular concepts. Okay, so let's move on to the introduction part. Now coming to this web technologies. So the agenda for today's class is like I would like to tell you some importance of the web technologies in our day-to-day life. What are the technologies and some of the examples. So now moving forward, also this is about my introduction, which I have already told you. So now let's discuss about this importance of the web technologies. If you can observe any of the operations in our day-to-day life, like for example, if you want to pay some current bill or any other utility bills, most of the people are opting for the web platform rather than going to the respective offices and standing in the queues for a long time. So it has made our life simpler than before when we compare to 1990s or 1980. Now in 2016 presently, we are we have more advanced technologies with the introduction of this particular internet and web. There are quite differences between the internet and web. Let's discuss it moving forward. So web is nothing but different types of documents that we are going to share with other machines, or kind of technologies, software, tools that are involved. So web is nothing but you can simply remember like it's a set of software or tools which enables our work. Like if we make any request in a browser, web browser, it directly hits the particular server and gets some documents. So this enabling of receiving documents or sending documents is possible through this web, which is nothing but a combination of softwares and different types of tools. Okay, so if you see like different e-commerce sites we are having, like Paytm or Flip or Snapdeal. So different kinds of websites enables our work, like it makes our life easier. We can sit at home and directly shop, no need to go anywhere else. So we can also improve our knowledge, and we can do a lot of things online when compared to offline. So you might have seen this in your day-to-day lives. Now just moving to this web application architecture. Now we can see, like as I discussed earlier, when we are making any request, we utilize this browser. Browser is nothing but your Firefox or Chrome or Safari. So in that particular browser, you are trying to hit a link, for example, https://www.simplicious.com. So now if you want to go to the particular site, you would made a request using this particular website. So when you make this, okay, what happens in the background, let us understand. So for this particular tcs.com, there might be a website which is developed using some particular softwares. And we have some technologies here, if you can see, HTML, XHTML, CSS and JavaScript. So these are the client-side technologies which basically helps you to render your information on a web browser. So on the web browser, you can view the screen with particular, like it may be images or it may be text. It may be scrolling text or it may be a static text, kind of things you can like see on your web page. So what? Let us have a brief introduction of what is meant. So this HTML hypertext markup language, it's like a set of tags which enables to render some text on your browser. So CSS is nothing but a cascading style sheet. It's a styling which enables a styling. Like if you have a plain text, if you want to give some colors, some animations, or some kind of some new jazzy look, then you can use this particular CSS. So HTML has to be connected with this particular CSS, and JavaScript, it enables the interaction of the pages. Like if you want to move from one page to the other page, you want to click on a one button and then you have to move to some other button, then kind of dynamic actions will be performed by this JavaScript language. Okay, XHTML is nothing but an extensible, it's like an old version of the HTML. So both are similar and there are no differences. Like only the normal small differences that going forward I'll explain. So these technologies come under the client-side technologies. What is this UI layer? If you can see here, UI is nothing but the user interface, which the user is interfacing, which the user is able to view. So we call this as UI layer or front-end layer. When you open some Flipkart.com, you will be able to see some navigation buttons, some scrolling images, carousels, all those components which you are able to view are nothing but the UI layer, user interface layer. So here if you can see, if you go down, you can see the browser here. So using this browser is a medium which helps us to make a particular request and get the particular information. So using HTTP or HTTPS, going forward we'll understand what is meant by this hypertext transfer protocol and HTTPS. We will discuss in detail. So this particular protocols, some kind of protocols will help us to retrieve information from the backend. Backend, it consists of the PHP, normally all server languages like CGI, Java, Servlets, ASP.NET, Ruby and Rails. So this particular backend portion will be taken care by some other team in the TCS itself. So now I'm going forward, I'll just explain you about all the front-end technologies, HTML, XHTML, CSS, JavaScript and all these things. So I hope you are clear about the web application architecture. If you have any queries, please let me know so that I can answer you. Even by the end of the session is also fine. You can just ask me some questions.
1 second.
This is the example that we have already discussed. So we have nowadays we are able to see the particular sites not only in the desktop but also in the mobile browsers. So this has been enabled on the mobile browsers as well. That means you are having a same single code only, but this particular code we are making it responsive. Responsive in sense we are having a different UI for different browsers, but the effort of CSS will be different. So this kind of responsive topics and layouts that we'll discuss going forward. So if you see like Facebook, you can see the facebook.com on your desktop. If you go to your mobile, please observe, you can see like m.facebook.com. It means like it's a mobile enabled website for the Facebook. For any of the websites, like you will have a web application and you will have a mobile app. So these are two different things actually. So web app is nothing but you'll be like having some URL. If you click on the URL, your particular application will be open. Whereas mobile application is different, Mobile application is you'll have some installable exe file. For example, for Android, we call it as .apk. And for iOS devices like Apple, iPhone, we'll call them as IPA. So these are kind of an installable executable files. When you just run those particular things, you can have the app installed on your devices. I think most of you have already done those things, and you have all the apps installed on your devices like iPad or iPhone. Example, Nexus. Different kinds of devices with latest versions like Android, Lollipop. These are the different versions of the Android devices, and you have different iPhone 7, 6s, all different operating systems. So depending on the operating systems also, going forward we learn we have to prepare some separate, we have to take care of our existing code base. So what we are doing, we have to make sure like it sits on all operating systems, whether it is a web application or whether it is a mobile application. So these are the what is the primary difference between a web application and a mobile application is like you'll have this kind of executable files to be installed on this devices like Android or iPhone devices. Okay, so web also we can have the same web browser like web URL run on your devices, which is nothing but mobile enabled things like m.facebook.com. These are like mobile enabled websites, and normal websites we can have like www.something.com. Okay, so these are the list of topics that are going to be covered as a part of the web technologies. So HTML, XHTML, CSS, JavaScript, XML, Ajax, and so will be covered by me, and the rest of the topics will be covered by the other team in the TCS. Okay. So this is all about the introduction of the web technologies. So I would also expect some questions from your side because this is a current market in the like world, like web and apps are going like anything rapidly nowadays. So I would also expect some questions from you in a real perspective. If you have any questions with respect to the current market and all, you can just ask me so that I can clear your doubts. So if you are clear about the introduction to web technologies, just let me know.
Good morning. This is Dr. Jntuk Moocs. So anybody want to ask the questions? So you have a hand raise button on your screen. So it comes as a request permission to speak. So you need to hand raise in order to talk. I muted off, so you cannot unmute yourself and talk. If you want to speak, you can click the request permission to speak.
So all of you are from CSE and IT departments?
Yeah. All are from CSE.
Okay. I just want the session to be. Okay, can I ask one question? Will you be able to answer me?
So Divya, what I do is I'll change the mode from presenter mode to group mode.
Okay, sure.
So that anybody can talk and anybody can give the messages in the start box.
Yeah, sure.
So now we are in group mode. So anybody can speak. Anybody can put something in the chat box. Prati College. I need some voice from Prati College. Somebody should talk. Prati College, Lingaya, Chaitanya, Kite. Just Aditya College. So you can ask any general question regarding web technologies.
So, do you have any have you ever gone through these technologies, or you can share your experiences, if any such things?
Even faculty members can ask the questions. Divya, you can go ahead.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So I request all the mentors and students to like feel free and ask all the questions. I hope like everyone will have a question definitely in their mind. So next time you can just go ahead and ask the questions. Okay, now I'll be sharing the screen of our first chapter. Yeah, hope everyone can see my screen. So this is about the fundamentals. So most of the topics in this chapter might be covered in other subjects like networking subjects and all regarding the protocols, what is meant by internet, web, etc. So I'll just move forward here. So this chapter actually talks about the internet history and the internet protocols. So like how the origin it has come, like what is the origin of the internet history. Now if you can see here a bulleted point, ARPANET, the late 1960s and early 1970s. Okay, which means like ARPANET organization. It has emerged like in 1960s and early 1970s. And what is this particular network? Why it is found? And what are the advantages of this particular network? We'll understand. Okay. So in that year 1960, the Department of Defense, it was like more interested to form some large kind of network so that it will be helpful for them to exchange some files or some kind of documents. So with that concept, it has come up and like form this particular ARPANET, which is nothing but the Advanced Research Project Agency. The full form is Advanced Research Projects Agency. So it was established with the main intention of having like program sharing and remote computer access, like for all the scientists in that particular Department of Defense. And because it was like funded by the ARPA, the network was named as the ARPANET. So, despite the initial intentions, actually, the ARPANET was simply a text based communication through the email. So, it's a kind of through the email, if you are just passing, not images and all, if you're just passing the text based information, they have utilized this particular ARPANET. So, it was actually funded by the ARPA. So, it was like all those internal organizations of the defense department, and but not to the external organization. It is a kind of a network which is like a bounded to that particular network, and the files and different kinds of documents are being shared within the particular network itself, but not with the external networks. Like it cannot provide its services to the other like networks like educational institutions or some universities and all. So there it has become a difficult or challenging part. So later what happened is like you can see here, this BitNet and CSNet, it were founded in 1970 and early 1980s. So these two networks' main intention was to enable the email and file transfer for other institutions. It means like it can be an educational institution. It's not again a large network, but it's something which is expanded a version of the ARPANET. So this two networks like BitNet and CSNet, the full form is like because its time network actually began at the City University of the New York, and this CSNet, Computer Science Network, it's like connected different universities like University of Delaware and Wisconsin and Rand Corporation. So
Divya, 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 screen is not shared.
okay, I'll share the presentation once again. I'll share the. I'm just sharing. So I hope like you can see the screen, right? Okay, fine. So I just want to summarize the first thing. ARPANET, which is nothing but the US Department of Defense network, which was emerged in 1960s with the main intention of sharing like computer remote computer access, program sharing, etc. So this network has some loopholes, like it cannot be expanded to other external institutions or organizations. And so as it is specifically funded by this ARPA, like Advanced Research Project Agency, it has provided its services only to that particular network, like research organization. Here you can find one more point, like network reliability, which means like all the computers, like for example, if you take a set of 10 computers, all the computers are connected in a network. If we can call these computers as a particular nodes also. So if you consider if one of the node has been disconnected or dropped due to some reasons, the connection to other machines should not be disturbed. So which is nothing but we are maintaining like reliability. That network reliability should not be lost even if one machine or the two machines or nodes has been disconnected. So this was ensured that by particular ARPANET. So later, like BitNet and CSNet have been emerged in 1970s and 80s with the intention to expand the ARPANET's services, like it provides its like network to the educational institutions and the email and file transfer options for the different institutions. Okay, so these two particular networks has inculcated a few things from the ARPANET, and it has expanded its features. Now moving to the NSF net. So it has been emerged in year 1986. So basically, like as it is said in the presentation, like originally for the non-DoD funded places, like it's not for defense organizations, like non-defense organizations. It has provided its services. Okay, some colleges has requested like they are not able to see the screen. QISIT. Is it still occurring? Internet history. So we were discussing about the NSF net, which has emerged in 1986. So it's a new national network, NSF net. It was created in the year 1986. Okay, the full form is National.
Divya, can you share it
Yeah,
again? Once again?
yeah, sure,
Yeah,
definitely.
now it is coming.
Okay,
I think there is a drop in bandwidth at your side.
okay,
Yeah, now we can.
okay.
So now you can close your video, you on the sharing. So whenever we have an internet problem, we can do that.
So,
So below you have the camera privacy, no?
yeah, yeah.
So that you can off. So I'm turning off all the videos.
Okay, sure.
So you can go on.
Yeah, sure. So now going to this NSF concept. a new national network, NSF net was largest network, so the rest became known as an internet. And this NSF has utilized some of the systems for some research purpose, and the remaining rest became known as an internet. Although this term was like used much earlier for both ARPANET and NSFNet. So the major differences when we compare between the different things like ARPANET or BidNet or CSNet, um, it has emerged like a step-by-step process. So initially it was for only defense organizations. Later it has expanded its services to the educational institutions, and now this NSF has become later known as an internet. Now moving on to the next slide. This is about the internet history. What is internet? So before like going to all the web applications, mobile applications, the basic and the primary topic is like internet. Like we should understand what is the meaning of the internet. So internet is nothing but a worldwide network of computer networks. So if you have around, for example, you have around 20 machines on your local area, like a LAN, you all the computers are connected in a single network. So all the connecting things like connecting machines, we call them as an internet. So to these computers, not only the computers can be connected to the respect other computers, but some hardware devices like printers or plotters can also be connected here. So there should be a way of communication between your hardware device and your machine. So this is enabled in the year 1982 with the help of the TCP or IP. TCP is nothing but the transmission control protocol or internet protocol. So these protocols enable us to do certain particular actions like when you give a print, like when you are enabling your printer, like you click on a print on your machine and this particular print has come out. So this a particular action has occurred because of this protocol. So this TCP or IP, the major purpose is like it helps the connection between the different devices. Okay, and to add more like this particular concept, internet call. If you type IP config, you will get some numbers displayed with some separations with the dots. So these are nothing but your IP addresses, which can be a like unique 32-bit number. The internet protocol of a machine connected to the internet, like it is a 32-bit number, and the dots, and it's separated by the dots like 191.57.126.0. So if it's a for this 32-bit number, you can have the four 8-bit numbers like 192 dot something separated by the periods. So the four parts are separately used by the internet routing computers to decide like where the message has to go. Like it will determine its your destination. For example, you have like https colon like tcs.com, www.tcs.com, which is a domain that I'm going to explain you forward. So this is nothing but a combination of numbers only. Like you have some unique IP address for the particular domain name. Now moving on to the next slide. So this is what we discussed. Every node will have a unique numeric address, 32-bit binary number, and IPv6 is nothing but the standard in the internet protocol. So we call this particular term as a standard, which has like 128 bits, and it has emerged in the year 1988. So mostly we'll be using this TCP/IP protocol in our day-to-day life. So organizations are assigned group of IPs for their computers. For example, if you have a big organization, you will be assigned some group of, because each machine will have a unique IP address. So if we are assigned like a group of IP addresses, we can utilize it for sending our messages. Like we can make a request and we can receive the information. So By the mid 1980s, several different protocols have been invented and were being used on the internet with the different user interfaces. So not only the TCP/IP, but we have a different like protocols like Telnet, FTP, Usenet, and Mail. So these are the different kinds of protocols we have. So I think most of you have learned about these protocols, packets, data, everything in your networking subjects. So now moving forward to the next slide, which is nothing but the internet protocols. Internet protocols, you can find the something called tcs.com, which is nothing but TCS is the host name and .com is your domain name. And these domain names, we have a different domain names here, like .com, .org, .edu. For example, if you see the JNTU sites, you can see like these are all educational sites, and you can find like .in, .edu kind of extensions. Whereas some commercial sites or companies will find like .com, yahoo.com, like tcs.com, flipkart.com. So these are kind of some set of commercials as well as companies and organizations like w3c.org. Like it's w3c.org is like a official organization for all this HTML web based things. So you can just refer w3c.org for more information on this web technologies. And the last domain name specifies the type of organization, and fully qualified domain name, the host name and all of its domain names. So what domain we call it as a fully qualified domain name. So you should have it as like World Wide Web. www means World Wide Web dot some host name dot domain name. The combination of all these three things will be a fully qualified domain name. And when you make a request in your browser like https colon www.flipkart.com, so this particular request will go and hit some server. Okay, then only you can be able to receive some data or information. So these servers, like we'll have multiple servers around us. So for example, you are residing in some area called Surampalam or Rajanagaram, you will have a local servers in your area. So this particular request will go and hit that particular name server. We call them as DNS, domain name server. The nearest service it will go and hit to fetch the information. So convert fully qualified domain names to domain names means you can see the two types of things here. One is a number thing, another is a text format. Text format is your https colon www.flipkart.com. So this is your text format. There is a number format. Text is unique as well as number is also unique. So it's like a it's like a representation of your text in the number format. It has some 192 dot, some dot, some x dot y dot z, not letters but actually numbers. Okay, so this number will be unique as well as your the text also will be unique. Okay, I hope you are clear with these concepts. So if anything, just stop me by so that I can clear your doubts. So when coming to the internet history, what we have learned is nothing but internet is a set of computers which are connected with each other. So this connection can be with the hardware devices as well, like printers. So to enable the transmission between the hardware device and your computers, like you can have this particular TCP or IP protocols. This particular IP address format is you'll have a 32-bit binary number like 192.58.25.62 or something. So each is a 8-bit and you have four numbers separated by the periods. And we have multiple protocols supporting like Telnet, FTP and all. So mostly used or frequently used is the TCP/IP protocol. So now coming to the domain names, you have the host name and the domain names. Host name is nothing but your organization like TCS or JNTU.com. It may be commercial company, organization, or educational sites. Okay. And the fully qualified domain name is nothing but your complete address like http colon www dot some x dot com. So the host name and all of the domain names together we call it as a fully qualified domain name. And this particular domain name, if you want to hit like this particular domain name to get any output or a data, this particular request will be sent to the local like a DNS server, domain name service, and from there it can be converted to a numbers for the easy understanding of the service. So if any doubts, you can just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just move forward.
Now anybody can
Anybody
speak.
can speak now.
So I
I
unmuted everybody.
unmuted everybody.
Viewers at
Viewers at
engineering college,
engineering
if you
college,
want to
if you
speak.
want to speak.
Kite college,
Kite
who
college,
is there?
who is there?
Kite college.
Kite college.
Continue.
Continue with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for the screen share option.
I think you got it.
You got it.
No, actually, I did not get this screen share button. Now I got it. Yeah.
So this is a
This is
magic
a
with
magic with
video.
video.
So
So
the entire
the
control
entire
is with
control
us.
is with us.
Okay. Uh, Now I hope like everyone can see my screen.
So not it.
So not it.
Okay, I think there is some lag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can.
we can.
Yeah. Okay. So earlier we have discussed about the topics, internet protocols and the internet history. So now we are moving ahead to client and the server. So in the introduction part, I have discussed about this client and the server. Let me show the picture once again. I am just sharing my screen. So here you can see the web application architecture. I'm just repeating this slide so that if anyone missed, you can just have a quick walkthrough. This like how it is made. Like whenever you are able to view the particular page on your web browser, let's think of the different technologies or the tools that are involved. So here the different technologies which made us to see the particular web page are HTML, XHTML, CSS, JavaScript, and some other underlying technologies. So basically, the primary web technologies that we are going to focus are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and Ajax. So HTML is a kind of set of tags which render the text or kind of like URLs on your page, and CSS adds the styling to your web page, and JavaScript helps us to be interactive. Like you want to move from one page to other page, you can go ahead and like using this particular JavaScript, you can make your functionality dynamic. So the different technologies involved in the front end technologies are these things. And when in your browser, when you make any request, like if you make a http or https request like https colon www.flipkart.com or something, then a request goes to your server, which is nothing but your backend. The terminology we use mostly in this corporate is like front end and backend. Front end is your UI, user interface, um, which involves the web technologies, and backend is your server, like it may be a Java, PHP server, or Ruby, or Rails, or CGI, or something. So when you make any request from your front end application, it goes to a server and it makes a request and like you get the response. So now moving back to the chapter slide, which I'm going to share it once again. I'm just waiting for a few seconds so that it will be loaded for you. Okay, I hope like everyone can see the client and the server slide. So here we can see the client and servers are the programs that communicate with each other over the internet. So all these communications will be possible only when you are connected in a network. Okay, that is the primary thing. So as you have seen in the previous slide, client is nothing but your front end and server is nothing but your back end. So server is a kind of which makes a set of operations to get your data, to enable all the data to appear on your front page, and the server runs continuously waiting to be contacted by a client. So server actually it runs asynchronously. So when you actually request any information, it will be ready to display the information, to pass the information to be displayed on your front page. So each server provider provides certain services. Services includes providing web pages. So like providing web page is a part of is like a part of one of the services. Client will send a message to a server requesting the service provided by that server. So the client will usually provide some information parameters with the request. So whenever you make any request, you'll pass some parameters like username or password for the particular login. And based on the particular user and password, some kind of authentication will be done by the backend. And if the authentication is done, like if the credentials are secure, then you will retrieve the information. So this is all about the client and server architecture. Now moving on to the next slide, World Wide Web. So actually there are differences between the internet and the World Wide Web. So internet is nothing but it is enabling a connection between the set of computers, whereas World Wide Web is nothing but a combination of documents or kind of programs or protocol or kind of software or tools. So web on the web, all the softwares or tools reside, and internet provides a connection to different machines. So with the help of this web, through the internet, we'll be able to exchange our information, share the documents, you can do the remote access, any kind of operations you can do. So both goes hand on hand, both has to be both are different, but it has to be like working together. A possible solution to the proliferation of the different protocols being used on the internet. So these protocols we have already discussed. When you're connecting any hardware devices, like a printer or something, you need some protocols like TCP or IP, or to transfer some. You might be aware of different port numbers like 8080. All this kind of things will enable you to get the connections and share your information. So this World Wide Web protocol, like this particular thing, has been invented by the Tim Berners-Lee at the CERN, which is nothing but a European organization. It's basically a physics related organization, like group research group, which was headed by the Tim Berners-Lee. So it has proposed the web in 1989. So the purpose was to allow the scientists to have the access to many databases of scientific work through their own computers, like ARPANET, which was invented in 1960 for the defense Department of Defense of US country. Similarly, this Tim Berners-Lee team has invented this particular World Wide Web concept information. So this document form will be like hypertext. Hypertext is nothing but which contains a link. And is it a pages or documents or resources? We have a different questions like the set of links which resides on a page. What we'll call them? Whether we call them as a page or a document or resources. So mostly we'll call them as a web pages, and we'll call them as a documents as well. So hypermedia mentioned here is nothing but uh, we don't have only the text. We'll have the images, video clips, etc. So we call it as a hypermedia. hyper is nothing but we'll have a set of links. So moving on to the next slide. So this I have already explained, like differences between the web and internet. And this web uses one of the protocols, HTTP, that runs on the internet, and there are several other protocols as well. So mostly we use the HTTP, HTTPS. So going forward, now we can see like web browsers here. Web browsers are nothing but these are the clients. These are kind of interfaces which enables us to view the information, view the content. So always these browsers are the clients. Always initiate the servers react. Although sometimes servers require responses. So these are the kind of medium which enables us to send our request and retrieve our information. So you can find different kinds of browsers like Mozilla, Chrome, Internet, Edge. So nowadays you can find Edge browsers with the latest operating systems of the Windows 10 and latest versions Firefox. So we have more features enabled now in our web browsers when compared to the old browsers. So Mosaic was the first browser. Um, it was like invented in the year 1993 by NCS organization, University of the Illinois. So first to use a GUI graphic user interface led to the explosion of the web use. So they want not only a plain text, but they need some graphical user interface which is much more jazzy, and they want to have much more advanced features. So initially the browser concept has been emerged by this particular university, and initially for the X Windows under Unix, but was ported to other platforms by the late 1993. It means like it was initially introduced for the Windows operating system, like X Windows or under Unix operating system, but later it was again like expanded to the different platforms in the year 1993. So most of the requests are for existing documents using the hypertext transfer protocol. So we are sending different documents using this kind of protocol. But some
Divya,
requests are for program execution with the output being returned as a document. So here, when you make a request, you are retrieving not only the plain text or information, but a set of some PDF files or some kind of documents also we are able to retrieve.
Divya, we'll stop it here.
Yeah.
So you can
Okay.
recap the
Recap
class
the
and
class and we'll make the move ahead.
Okay, sure, definitely. So, to summarize all the concepts, we have gone through the introduction of web technologies, the importance why we are using the web applications nowadays, why we are using the web applications nowadays, because it has made our lives very easier when compared to like going offline. We are doing more of our activities, day to day activities online, which is saving our time, effort, money, etc. And the invention of new technologies, not only the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, which are the basic technologies, we have much more advanced technologies like Angular JS, Backbone JS in a web platform. And when compared to the mobile application platform, we have uh, like we have a kind of executable files which has to be installed on your machines to run your app. So this app also like made our life easy to communicate, to do all of your operations without any time lag. So this web applications as well as mobile applications has made our job easy. And this web applications, you can also run it on your mobiles as well, like you have a mobile enabled links. For example, you can see, as I discussed, you have a Facebook site like www.facebook.com on your web page and m.facebook.com on your mobile page. So instead of installing an app, you can go through this mobile enabled link as well. But app, it gives more of native features, like you can upload your photos through the app on your not only your social networking sites, but different sites you can upload. So for that we are majorly using apps for just simply browsing anywhere anytime. we can use the mobile enabled browsers or a normal web browsers when you're using laptops or desktops. So this is all about importance of the applications. And the architecture we have seen, the client side and the backend side, how it goes on through the different kinds of protocols and the differences between the web and the internet, and domain name servers we have seen, uh, what is a like different kinds of networking protocols, telnet, ftp, and the differences between the ARPANET, ByteNet, CSNet, and NSFNet. You can just go through all these concepts, and if you have any questions, you can just post me. I'll share you the example. I'll share you the chapter one slide till the web browsers concept. You can go through, and you can get back to me if you have any queries.
WhatsApp group and Facebook group, as well as one Google group also.
Group also comes.
Hello.
Hello?
So colleges, if you have any technical issues, any problems, I'll be online. You can
You
ask me.
can ask me.
Hello. Dance instructor. Login all. That's correct.